If you own or operate a business that involves liquor, you need to register. This means liquor stores, bars, restaurants, hotels, nightclubs, membership clubs, and even theaters. It's really any business that sells, exposes, or offers liquor for sale. Registration is only $100 for wholesale or retail liquor stores and $50 for restaurants, bars, and all others. If you own multiple locations, each one must have its own certificate. I know you're wondering, when should I register? Well, for existing businesses, you should register now, and applications are due by December 31st of every year. For new businesses, you must apply at least 90 days before your intended start date. Please note that in order to renew or apply for a business license, you must have a current liquor certificate of registration. Now, to apply, go to the DIR website under the Business License tab, select Liquor Registration, sign up, and complete the application form. Once approved, you will receive an email with your new liquor registration certificate. Remember, your certificate must be displayed clearly in your business. For more information on the new liquor registration, email liquorregistration@bahamas.gov.bs or visit our website at inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs.
Waiting for you, B. Good morning, good morning, good morning again. Welcome to day 2 of our financial symposium right here at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. For all those inside the house alive, let me hear a quick shout to everybody alive in the house this morning. Oh, that sounds like plenty funeral. Let me try this again. For all those alive in the house, let me hear a quick cheer for everybody alive in the house this morning. We almost there. I can try it one more time. For everybody looking forward to their second session of lunch, let me hear the cheer inside the house this morning. I know that was going to wake you all up this morning. So, good morning again. We are excited about day 2 for all of our wonderful persons that are actually here, all of our partners. Yesterday was an awesome and an excellent day. We had a wonderful group of persons coming through, and we're excited about day 2. So if you have not had the opportunity to pass through here at the Nationals Baseball Stadium opposite Governor's High School, we encourage you to do so. We have a number of our wonderful partners and vendors inside the house this morning. We have Fidelity Bank inside the house, CIBC inside the house. We have Alive inside the house. SBDC is inside the house this morning. ZNS is going to be here shortly. We have the Chamber of Commerce inside the house. Bahamas Development Bank. We have Consumer Protection. I got you all this morning. I didn't have my glasses yesterday. Forgive me. We got Physical Planning inside the house. NIB behind me. We know they got our box inside the house this morning. We have BAIC this morning. Can't forget them at the end of the day. And who I missing? Customs. Simplified Lending and Verizon. I didn't forget them. I was coming to them as I swing back on this side, because then of course I gotta have the most wonderful group inside the house. Inland Revenue, let me hear you get a shout in there this morning. I'm biased. How you carrying on like that? I was coming right back to you. You see me looking at everybody signing. I sign, turn around so I can't see. You see how you get yourself? And we got beaches and parks inside the house here this morning. You know, I forget you. And BAHFSA inside the house this morning. So we are encouraging persons to make their way down here. You see my excitement? I am excited for you because I want you to have that opportunity at the end of the day to come in, apply for your business license if this is your first time, and once all of your documents are in order, to walk out the door with your license once everything is in order. But we are also encouraging persons to take the opportunity for all of the wonderful vendors that are here, get the information that you need, whether it's to start a business or to grow a business. At the same time, if you need assistance with your business license, if you need assistance with your NIB, if you need assistance with your VAT, your your real property tax, your short-term, VAT stamp. Our whole inland revenue team is here to help you. NIB is here to help you, and all of the other government agencies in this one place. So we are encouraging you this morning to get in the house. We are going to be here this morning between 10 to 4 p.m. So we encourage you to make sure at the end of the day that you are able to get all of the help and the assistance that you actually need. Now, right before we get started with our first presentation this morning, I just want to open with a quick word of prayer so we can get this party started this morning. Father God, I thank you for your grace and mercy. I thank you for those that are online streaming and listening in. I thank you for those that will be coming in this place. We thank you for our partners that are here with us today. God, we pray that the information that is shared today will help our consumers, help our partners, help our customers to grow in their respective businesses, God. And let everything be done in decency and order. In Jesus' name, and we say, amen. All right, so this morning, our first presentation is going to be done on real property tax by Ms. Jada Sweeting of the Department of Inland Revenue. Please, let's just give her a rounding round of applause as she comes up this morning.
Good morning. Okay, what is real property tax? Real property tax was established in 1969, imposed on all buildings, lands, machinery, plants, and equipment attached to land. It's an annual tax charged on the value of the properties based on the rates determined by Parliament, the only form of direct taxation in the Bahamas. So who pays real property tax? The tax is levied on owners of properties defined in the Act, residential properties exceeding the $300,000 value, non-Bahamians who own vacant land, and owners of apartment, condominium, large and small shops, and homes on rent. So, what are the categorizations of real property tax? We have owner-occupied, residential, commercial, foreign-owned vacant land, and exempt properties. So, owner-occupied, this property must be used exclusively as a dwelling. Owner-occupied is defined as properties occupied by a person who's being the owner in fee simple or a mortgager in possession that occupies and resides in the property. Residential. Residential are properties that comprise of 5 units, with 1 being owner-occupied, or 4 units or less. Residential properties also are not owner-occupied. They comprise not of more than 5 units. They're beneficially owned by Bahamians. A person who's registered under the value-added tax for the operation of a property as a commercial rental establishment. Unimproved vacant land. Non-Bahamians pay on vacant land and under construction properties. So, Bahamians do not pay on vacant land. Bahamians are exempted on vacant land. If you do not know your assessment number, please feel free to come into the department. If you are a owner of a vacant land property that has been taxed, the forms that you see there, which is considered a real property tax inquiry form, is required for you to fill out for us to correct the assessment. Senior citizen / pensioner reduction form. Senior citizen, the pensioners form is for anyone over the age of 65 or anyone that benefits from the NIB pension every month, and this only qualifies for your single family dwelling home. How is real property tax determined? Real property tax is determined by a fair market value of the property, land, and improvement. This is accomplished by collecting details about the property to calculate the replacement cost, which is based off the dollar rate applied for the land and improvement value. Property value is subject to change depending on any improvements or changes to the property, or based on any future reassessments of property. The reassessment can be requested by the owner or by law is done every 5 years. Did you know that RPT is fully online? So, RPT's portal went fully online for all Family Island declarations on March 6, 2023, and in February of 2024, all New Providence properties were declared online fully. So, here's a step-by-step on how to declare your property if you've never received a bill or do not know what your assessment number is. Once you visit our website, you click the Real Property Tax tab and you click Forms, the very last option that says Real Property Tax Declaration Submission Portal. This is where you submit all the documentation to ensure that you have an assessment number. After submitting a case online, the taxpayer will receive an FID number, which serves as their tracking number throughout the entire process. From the back end, administration will sort the case based on submission type. If it's a new declaration, a change of ownership, a split or merge of property, or a change of circumstance. Once submitted, it will then go to mapping to ensure that your assessment number is linked to the correct property. Then either a field or desk assessor will assess the property. It will be reviewed to ensure that the information placed in the system is correct. Then it will go to data entry to ensure that we have all of your information, including your email and postal address. Billings will calculate if there's a bill needed to be calculated, and then the taxpayer will receive their tax certificate. Did you know that you're responsible to notify the department of any changes made to your property, ownership, land, or any improvement? Exemptions. So places exclusively exempted from real property tax are religious and worship places, schools, and playing fields attached thereto, as well as property used exclusively for charitable purposes are exempted from paying real property tax. Other categories include crown land, properties occupied by owners as residents under the value of $300,000, unimproved/vacant land owned by Bahamians, improved properties by Bahamians on the Family Island, and properties used for commercial farming. Properties of any foreign state used as a consulate office, example embassies, historical buildings registered with the Ministry of Finance, properties of the National Trust, and property exclusively used for the purpose of charitable or public service, which are non-profit. Here are the rates calculated for real property tax. Owner occupied, the first $300,000 is exempted. The next $200,000 is at 0.625%, and the balance is at 1%. The commercial tax is calculated at the first $500,000 at 0.75%, the next $1.5 million at 1%, and the balance is at 1.5%. Residential rates. The value up to $775,000 is a flat rate of $300, and more than $75,000 is calculated at 0.625%. Vacant land is the first $7,000 at $100, and the balance is at 2%. Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Let's give her a hand again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Ms. Speeding. All right, let's get ready for our next presenter. So we are just again encouraging persons to take the opportunity to make your way down here at the National Baseball Stadium so you have a chance to get all of the information and the assistance that you need, whether it's regarding to your business license, your real property, your VAT, but at the same time to make sure if you do need assistance with information pertaining to raising capital, as well as all of the different areas and government agencies that are here, to please take advantage of the opportunity today. So let me invite to stage our next presenter, who is going to present onto you first home exemption. Let's welcome Ms. Shanique Quant Auguste. See, I get it right. I get it right. Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? So my name is Shaniqua Gustav, and I'm attached to the First Home Exemption Unit for the past 4 years. Anybody can tell me what is First Home Exemption? Or what you think First Home Exemption is? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so who are we and why do we exist? First Home Exemption, we are the tax exemption unit at the Department of Inland Revenue. We exist to give relief to Bahamians who are first-time homeowners. This unit is outstanding considering we have the best interests of our Bahamian people. First Home is established in 2003. Was this exemption always applicable to vacant land or dwellings? So at one point it was applicable to vacant land, but as of 2010, vacant land cannot get exemption. Okay. Under First Home, we have 5 applications. That is pre-approvals, First Home exemption, intervivors, also known as deed of gift, transfer of home mortgage, and VAT refund / construction or renovation. This is the last one, which came into effect July 1st, 2022. I'll explain about it later. So, in order to get First Home exemption, you must be a Bahamian. Foreigners cannot get First Home exemption in the Bahamas. The categories for First Home exemption is single-family home, condominium, duplex, and recently triplexes as of July 1st, 2023. Anything over a triplex cannot be granted First Home exemption. So the categories are single-family up to $300,000. You can get full exemption on your conveyance and mortgage where you don't have to pay the government. That's just say maybe $10,000. You get it fully exempted. So if you were buying a home as a first-time homeowner, I would say get something under $300,000, which may be not realistic in this day and time, but some good deals out there. So anything over $300,000 up to $500,000, you wouldn't receive full exemption, but you will receive a partial exemption. Instead of paying 6% on your conveyance, you will pay 4%. Of course, if it's a duplex or a triplex, we will divide it in 2 or 3, exempt you on your unit, and you will pay taxes on the remaining units. So pre-approvals come in usually from financial institutions, where you go to obtain your mortgage. They will write into us first to see how much you actually, if you do qualify for the exemption, or if you do not qualify for the exemption. And I guess they'll base giving you the mortgage off our pre-approval. So First Home acquisition is buying a home and obtaining a mortgage to assist with the purchase, or even buying the property outright and you getting exempted on the mortgage. We also have First Home construction and financing. That's just say if you already own the land and you wish to obtain a mortgage, you can get the exemption based on the mortgage once you provide the department with the necessary information. And then construction house and our package, we'll use our homes for instance. You buy in the land from them and they will be developing your home as well. That is also an exemption category under the First Home exemption. So these are the qualifications you must have, the requirements. You must have a Bahamian passport, national insurance card, the First Home affidavit, the conveyance, the mortgage if it's applicable, the bank commitment letter, construction contract, appraisal, and of course all of the real property tax forms. So I'll talk about intervivors, which is also a deed of gift. A lot of Bahamians are now doing intervivors, whereas just say you have children and you don't want to leave a will, you can do a deed of gift to give your children the property whilst you are living. And that way they don't have to go through the headache of probating your estate and all of that. So you could remain on the property as well with them. So a deed of gift shouldn't have a consideration because it's a gift. It should have $10, $100 or natural love and affection. So categories for deed to gift are, to get it VAT zero rated is spouse to spouse, parent to child, child to parent, and grandchildren to grandchild. So the transferor, person who is giving the property away, the transferee, person obtaining the gift of property. And I already said that it should have $10, or $100. So the requirements for the deed of gift are birth certificate, because we have to prove that it's actually your child. The marriage certificate, because we have to prove that it's your spouse. If it's grandchild, the grandparent, the grandchild, we'll need the parent birth certificate along with the child birth certificate, because we need to prove that, we need to prove the connection. And also foreigners could get their deed of gift exempted in the Bahamas. So this doesn't, you don't have to be a Bahamian citizen. Under the first home exemption, we also do transfers of home mortgage. Anybody have an idea what is a transfer of home mortgage? Right there. Okay, so let's just say your first mortgage was with Royal Bank, and you want to switch to CIBC because they got the better rates. You would, let's say you borrow $300,000 initially, and you want to go to CIBC and borrow $450,000. You would already pay the VAT on the $300,000. So we wouldn't charge you that. We'll just charge you an additional $150 that you borrow. We cannot double tax the people. So if you switch in your mortgage, you could apply to the first home exemption department, but it has to be a home. It could be a home, duplex, triplex, fourplex. Once you reside in that building, you could apply to first home exemption to get it exempted. Lastly, as of July 1st, 2022, the government implemented persons who are buying vacant land and want to construct. They came up with an idea to give persons funds back because we don't exempt vacant land. So it's called VAT refund / construction or renovation of your first home. Whereas, let's say you buy the vacant land and you want to construct. You can apply to first home exemption. If it's your first home, you can get up to $40K back on the construction of your first home. $40K on the VAT back on the construction of your first home. But of course, before you get it back, first home would have to reassess the property, make sure there are actual receipts that was used on your home before we can give you back. So I don't think you get exactly $40K back, but you get a good amount back. A lot of persons don't know about this one, so let people know. And of course, for this one, let's say if you have a contractor, we'll have to issue a tin to your contractor for you personally. So when your contractor goes and purchase your, let's just say 10 bags of cement, your tin have to be on the receipts because we need to know that it was actually being purchased to construct your home. So we're not going to take a receipt if you just go to Kelly's and say, you use this to build your home. Persons aren't honest, so we're not going to just go along with that. So if the tin isn't on the receipt, it would be null and void. So I have a question. How many years will you be exempted from real property tax with the first home exemption unit? So once you qualify for first home exemption, you get exempted from paying real property tax for the first 5 years. Whether your home is $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, you get exempted for the first 5 years. Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions about first home exemption?
Well, excellent. Oh, right here? Yeah.
I have a question.
Morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good and you. Valencia Knowles, Kayad, CIBC JFK. So I want to backtrack to, I think it was Ms. Roll who presented before, with the vacant land. Can you have like maybe 10 vacant lands and you still won't pay real property tax on those vacant land? Or is there a certain amount of vacant land you can have before it's capped in your tax?
Bahamians don't pay vacant land, pay taxes on
So it
vacant
don't matter
land.
if I have 10 properties?
Once it's vacant now, if you was to put something there, I think a fence or any improvements, you have to pay.
Okay, my next question is, when it comes to the up to 300 being exempted, if I go over the 300, is that 4% charged on the whole thing, or is it the excess of 300?
You mean for first home?
Correct.
So that's to get your conveyance stamp and record it. That is in real property tax. So to get your conveyance for first home, if it's 300,000, if it's 350, we charge you 4% on the 350. We don't subtract the 300,000 and just charge you on the 50. We're giving you a partial discount. Instead of 6%, you're going to pay 4%. So you get an exemption, but it's just a partial exemption.
Okay, and what about on the mortgage portion?
So on the mortgage, if it's a single family, it's automatically nil, no matter the amount, but it has to be under 500,000. Now, if it's a duplex, we will divide it in half. You will get exempted on your portion, and you pay 1% on the remaining portion.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, we have one more presenter for you this morning, Ms. Charmaine Bean from our short-term and condo hotel tax, who's going to talk to you a little bit about vacation rentals. That's for all of us who have our Airbnbs throughout this wonderful Commonwealth. I just want to remind persons again that we will be here from 10 to basically 4 p.m., depending on the crowd today. We're encouraging you to let your aunts, your uncle, your nieces, your nephew, and everyone else take the opportunity and the time to come out to get the information and the assistance that they need while we're all in one place. So please, let's give Ms. Charmaine Bain a hand as she comes up to present on short term this morning.
Good morning. Short-term rentals. What is short-term rentals? Short-term rentals are homes rented for 45 continuous days or less. Who is required to register? As of July 1st, 2023, amendments were made to the Business License and VAT Act for rental and residential property. Okay, yeah. Documents required. You have several documents required for short-term vacation rentals. We have the stamp conveyance, the real property tax customer details form, the real property tax declaration form, real property tax affirmation form, passports, and corporate documents. Steps for compliance. All, that's Bahamian and foreign-owned vacation rental homes, should be registered in the short-term portal that is found on the Inland Revenue's website. So the application will look like this. You complete it, and then the second step is to create a user profile. Once completed, that is it. Short-term is very short. Any questions? Yes. Okay.
So the first slide. Hello? So could you go back to the first slide and just clarify if we're talking about short-term rental of a place that I own, and where does that stand in contrast to rental arbitrage? Or if I am renting from someone and I'm granted permission to Airbnb it, is that regulated by Inland Revenue, or that's different?
Okay. Is the home 100% Bahamian owned?
Yes.
Once it's 100% Bahamian owned, Bahamians are not required to register for business license and VAT unless your turnover exceeds the $100,000 VAT threshold.
Okay.
So you won't be required to register.
Okay, as in use the system.
Yes, ma'am. But you are required to register in the portal.
The owner of the property or the renter?
The owner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Awesome. Okay. Just give a hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to take a 45-minute break. We're going to pick back up at 11:30. We're going to start again with our next set of presenters at 11:30. So we are encouraging persons, take the time, the opportunity, make your way down here so you have a chance to get your questions answered. Please, I encourage persons also to check yesterday's presentations where we went over business license, liquor registration. We also went over VAT, as well as we talked a little bit about the TCC, which is the Tax Compliance Certificate. So we're going to be on a short break. We'll be back at 11:30 to pick up with the rest of our presentations for the day. We'll see you soon.
Good day and welcome to Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Pierre Montour, the Training and Communications Manager here at the Department of Inland Revenue. Let's Talk Sense is here to help our business licensed persons, our taxpayers, and our community to better understand different matters pertaining to taxes here inside the Bahamas. Today we have our special guest, Miss Indira Wright, the manager for First Home Exemption, and we're going to talk a little bit about First Home today and some of the upcoming events that we have going on here at the Department of Inland Revenue. I just have to send a great shout out to our full Department of Inland Revenue. We just had our first corporate service shortly while ago and a luncheon, and it was a wonderful experience for everybody that came. So thank you for everybody that came to support. I know I had a good time. I know I ate the bread pudding. I'm not ashamed about it. I'm just throwing that out there. But today we're going to talk about First Home right here at the Department of Inland Revenue. So let me just welcome our guest. Ms. Wright, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's a pleasure having you today. So let's just get into it. So tell us a little bit about what is the purpose of the First Home Unit and what role does your team play in the exemption process?
Okay, so the First Home Unit is simply responsible for the granting of VAT zero tax exemption, either full or partial. And so as a result of that, we always tell our clients, no matter which application you send in to us, you're somehow going to get an exemption as long as it's under the threshold of $500,000.
Okay. So for someone who's listening right now, who's unsure, who is actually eligible for the First Home exemption?
All right. So the First Home Unit, all the persons who are eligible for our exemption, you would have to be a Bahamian, 18 years or older, and acquiring his or her first home. That's it.
So I'm 18 years or older. I'm eligible for my first home. Are there any, type of scenarios when someone may qualify, or where someone can qualify? Can you walk us through the different types of applications that are actually eligible?
Okay, excellent. So we can begin with our home acquisition. That's a Bahamian who's buying his or her first home and is looking for exemption on either the conveyance or the mortgage. Secondly, we have what we call our conveyance and financing application. That's where someone would have perhaps purchased their home many years ago, and now they're looking to construct. So they're looking for an exemption on the mortgage. Thirdly, we have what we call our house and lot package. And that is where we ask for every Bahamian who's submitting that application to ensure that the contractor and the seller are the same. That's the only way that you will qualify. The contractor and the seller, I repeat, must be the same. And we will go ahead and administer an exemption on both the mortgage and the conveyance. So in addition to that as well, we have what we call our intervivals application. And this came into existence sometime in 2019. And this is where a Bahamian is eligible to transfer his or her property while they're still living to the one whom they so desire to give it to. And this has been a rave with the department because a lot of Bahamians find this to be very convenient. They love this.
How does that actually work, the intervival?
So how it works is that while you're living, you make a decision. I would want to give my property to, say, you. And what you would do is you submit an application, have a deed of gift drawn up. Many people may not know. And inter vivos is simply a deed of gift. And in that deed of gift, you're going to simply say, I'm transferring my property to you. And it's as simple as that. As long as you have that conveyance drawn up, you can go ahead and apply and all the relevant documents that we require, and we can go ahead and grant you that transference.
Is there any cost for somebody who wants to do something like that?
Absolutely not. Now, there are two things that I always say. People usually ask, do I have to go through a law firm? Well, of course, if you're going through a law firm, you're definitely going to have to pay, but it's not necessary. So a lot of Bahamians have the option of going onto our portal, which is public.gov.bs, and they can apply for themselves. As long as you have your conveyance drawn up to say that you're transferring the property to the one that you so desire to do so, you're good to go.
Now, I know we had a conversation before offline when it comes to the inter vivo about the fact that while I'm alive, I can transfer to my child, but I think we can also transfer to ourselves if we wanted to at the same time.
Definitely. So that brings us to who all are eligible for an inter vivos. And so it would be yourself, parents, children, grandparents, and grandchildren. So please, anyone who wants to do a transference, aunt, uncle, or anything other than the names that I just called off, it's not eligible for first home. That is a document that would go directly to our VAT stamp department. I repeat, the only ones eligible for inter vivos would be either yourself, parents, children, grandparents, and grandchildren.
True. Basically, only my immediate family.
Immediate family members.
Now, that brings up another question I have, and I don't know if our listeners would have the same question. So, the first home exemption and the inter vivos operate differently, don't they?
Yes.
So if I got a first home exemption for one home, that means I can't get it with any other home.
No.
Does that operate the same way with the inter vivo?
Definitely not. So unlike the first home, where you're only eligible for your very first home, inter vivos, first and foremost, is eligible to all Bahamians and foreigners. Secondly, you can get as many transferences within the inter vivos, which simply means if you have about 20 properties, you can go ahead and submit that through to our department for all 20 of your properties, and you would be eligible for that exemption.
Is that only home-based or is that commercial as well?
No, this would be strictly for the home.
Okay.
In most cases, in all cases for first home, we are dealing strictly with your home and property.
Okay.
No commercial buildings or uses whatsoever. Strictly your home. Hence, first home unit.
You know, that's amazing, because I know a lot of persons sometimes they will their homes to their children, their grandchildren. And what happens to them is when they then want to go and build another home, that causes a lot of them to be in a position where they can't get their first home exemption. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. I usually say that we have to be vigilant and we have to understand the system. With first home, if your name appears on a conveyance for the very first time, for our establishment, that simply means you already own a property. You already own your first home. So I'll give you an example. If you have a mother who's using her child, perhaps just turning 18, to assist with purchasing a home, and the child goes ahead and would put his or her John Henry on that conveyance, that child will not be eligible for a first home exemption when he or she is ready to get their first home. And so, yes, it's disheartening because a lot of people say, well, I was only helping out. I didn't know any better. That's why we're trying to put information out there as best possible via the media, via this, just to let you know, please, as long as you have your name on a conveyance, that is considered your first home, no matter how you obtain it. And if you're looking for exemption on your first home with perhaps your spouse or even by yourself, please be conscious of what you do in previous years, because it's definitely going to affect you with our exemption.
Then with the intervivos, that mean regardless of how many of those I have, that doesn't affect my first home. Do I also then, with the intervivo homes, have to pay real property on those? How does that work?
Definitely. All right. So how it works, anyone who has their first home, we have two types of exemption, like I mentioned earlier. You have partial and you have full. So with that full exemption, you won't have to pay any property taxes for 5 years. And that's one of the benefits of going through the first home unit. What happens now with the intervivos is that you will only be entitled, if it's your first home that's being transferred to you, you will only be entitled to that very first home where you will not have to pay property taxes. If you have 20, then 1 out of that 20 will be exempted. The other 19, you would have to pay taxes on those.
And that's amazing, because I think a lot of persons don't understand or even know that that's actually available to them.
Yes.
So can you tell me, and I think you just mentioned it, expand a little bit more on the difference between a full exemption and a partial exemption?
Certainly. Okay, so at the full exemption, we're looking at anyone who has a property value, which includes land and home, up to $300,000. Anything over $300,000 up to $500,000, you're granted a partial exemption. So in the Bahamas, our threshold for any of our exemptions is $500,000. If there's anything over that value, you're not eligible. I repeat, a full exemption is up to $300,000. A partial exemption is value of property and home in the amount of $301 up to $500,000. Anything after that, you're not eligible for a first home exemption.
Excellent. We're going to take our first break right here. And then when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation a little bit more about the first home exemption and just give a couple updates of what's happening right here at the Department of Inland Revenue. We'll be back.
Today, you will learn how to apply for a business license through the Department of Inland Revenue's online tax administration system. Start by visiting vat.revenue.gov.bs. Once on the home page, click Create Account. Complete the form, accept the terms and conditions, and then submit your registration. Next, log into your email to activate your account. Now, using the username and password you created, click Login. Then select Start Registration. Ensure that you have your personal NIB and NIB business registration information ready. Next, select Register a Person. Click Start. Then select Sole Trader. Then click Continue. Continue the eligibility form. Select Continue Registration and Continue Application. Now, complete form details, then click Save and Continue. Finally, upload all of the supporting documents. Click Save and Continue. Now read and agree to the declaration, and then click Submit Request. For more information, visit our website at inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs.
And welcome back to Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd, right here at the Department of Inland Revenue. And we were talking a little bit earlier with Ms. Indira Wright, the manager for First Home Exemption, talking about the First Home Exemption and a little bit more information about it. We're going to get back to that shortly. But I just want to remind persons that we are now basically past our first part of the business license renewal season, but we're still encouraging persons to please make sure that you go renew your business license for 2026. If you need assistance, we have videos on all of our YouTube, all of our Instagram channels at DIR Bahamas, as well as we also have on our website, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, where we have walkthroughs, bills, amendments, and any of the information you need to assist you. I just want to also remind persons that on the 31st of March, you're going to be required to be paying both your real property tax as well as you're going to be required to be paying for your business license. And of course, we have our monthly VAT payments and VAT process that you have to be a part of. For our large taxpayers, of course, it's on the 14th of each month. And for everybody else, it's on the 21st. And guess what? We have some exciting things that are going on in this month of February and the month of March. This month, we have our essay competition that started on the first Monday and it will be running through to the 27th of February. So we are encouraging all parents, all students, all schools to get your kids involved. It is for primary school grade 6, junior high, senior high, and tertiary up to 21 years old. If you're a Bahamian and you're in college, even if you're away, as long as you're a Bahamian and you're up to 21 years old, you can still enter. Last year, we had a wonderful turnout. And this isn't just for Nassau. This is for all of the islands. So we're encouraging persons to be a part of it, to win some of the wonderful prizes that we have going on. Now, we're going at the end of the month of March. We're going to have 2 symposiums that are going to be going on, and we're going to soon start advertising those. Again, this is going to be our 2nd annual financial symposium where we are encouraging businesses, persons looking to get started in the businesses to come out and be a part of it. It's going to be to the National Baseball Stadium on the 25th and the 26th of March. We want you to know early because we want you to get involved. We're going to have all of the different departments that you need. So you should be able to walk in once you have all of your documentation. And let me say it again. Once you have all of your documentation, you should be able to walk in and walk up with your business license. What we encourage persons to do beforehand is to make sure at the end of the day, you go onto our website. Again, this is inlandrevenue.finance.gov.ps. Look at the business license tab and applying for the first time to make sure at the end of the day, you see all of the information and documentation that you need to start the process. If you are doing a trade name, you start with us. If you are doing a limited company, you start with the Register General. But all of the information is right there. And guess what? We haven't forgotten our high school persons. So we are going to have a business preparedness symposium just for the high school students on the 30th and 31st of March, which is the last Monday and Tuesday. And this is going to be open to all high schools in Nassau to participate. If you're on the Family Islands, we're working for you. But if you want to fly in, we're welcome for you to do so. We want you to come and be a part of it because this is going to be for grade 11 and 12 because we want you to be successful in your business. So we encourage you to stay tuned for all of the updates and different things that we have going on right here at the Department of Inland Revenue. That's right. So just getting back into another question I had was pertaining to, the exemption. Does that also apply to vacant land?
Absolutely not. It's the one thing that we do not give exemption on. Now, I must admit, a few years ago, the government tried that, and we did offer exemption on vacant land. However, that was very short-lived. And ever since, we've been granting exemption only on conveyances with homes and property, and also with the intervivals, like I mentioned earlier. But vacant land, no, sir, we do not grant exemption for that.
There was something I think we had a discussion about before, and I think it was the refund for persons who were trying to upgrade their homes and different things. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yes, Mr. Todd, that would be our VAT construction and refund tax exemption. And what it is, we offer Bahamians the opportunity, if they purchased their land many years ago, to come in now and construct their home. We would grant them the exemption on that construction and all the VAT incurred on the purchases for just that construction. We also do the same for the renovation. If it's your first home and it's now time to renovate that home, we will also offer you exemption on all of the costs incurred, VAT costs, of course, on that reconstruction. So renovation and construction are the newest applications that Bahamians can now take advantage of with the first home unit.
So that means then I can take my home, upgrade it for my Airbnb, and I can still get a refund off of that.
Let's put it like this. Do not let us know it's an Airbnb because it would not. It would simply be for your home. Everything with first home is pertaining to your first home.
Okay.
And the fact that you must not go over 500,000, which is our threshold.
Okay. What's the refund amount? How much is that again?
So it's up to a maximum of $40,000. So Bahamians are really hearing about it now, and they're sending in their applications. It's a process. However, Bahamians are pretty happy. We're at the end of the entire process.
I would be too. I would definitely be too. Any final comments or suggestions? Well, before we even get to that, I would ask, how can persons, if they have any questions and they need assistance, what is the best way to reach the first home unit?
Okay, so the first home unit can be contacted via the DIR. You can always ask for the first home unit, or you can call me directly at 604-8101. And we also have an IT team who assists with this unit. And you can also reach out to the DIRIT at bahamas.gov.bs. My email would be indirawright@bahamas.gov.bs. And I'm willing to answer any questions that you may have and to assist at any time.
Any final comments or advice you would give the persons or someone who's preparing to apply for the first time for the first home exemption?
Definitely. This is an exemption that's designed for you, all Bahamians. And what we're asking is for Bahamians to really go out there and visit our website so that you can learn more about our unit. We have everything listed there for you, all of the criterias. If you're thinking not to use a law firm, you can do this all by yourself. Just read the website, and we have all the information that you need. It's a wonderful, wonderful period for Bahamians where they can be exempted on their deeds. Please, the many applications that I've spoken about this morning, it applies to you. So go on ahead and apply as early as possible.
Ms. Wright, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And for our listening audience, we encourage you, if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us also on tax inquiries at bahamas.gov.bs. I'll throw another one in for bonus. You can also email us at dir_comms@bahamas.gov.bs. Just for any of your inquiries, we'll make sure that it gets to the right and the appropriate department at the end of the day. Stay tuned for the other episodes that we're going to be having. We're going to be bringing in partners from different government agencies as well as different departments within the Department of Inland Revenue. And it's been a pleasure for you being with us today. So stay tuned for more episodes of DIR Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd. I'll see you next time. Good day and welcome to this episode of DIR Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd, the Training Communications Manager here at the Department of Inland Revenue. And we just want to welcome you to this week's episode. And we have a special guest with us from BAHFSA, which is the Bahamas Agricultural, Health and Food Safety Authority. Mr. Christopher Worrell, who is the Director of Technology, Advancement and Development at BAHFSA. And so we're going to get into it with Mr. Worrell today, and then we're going to talk about a little bit more of some of the other updates and stuff that we have going on at the Department of Inland Revenue. Mr. Worrell, welcome to the show.
Beaumont, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, I have to admit, and I'm guilty of it too, a lot of persons, I think, are not familiar with BAHFSA, what it does. And I was surprised to find out that it's actually been around from 2018, if I was correct.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those who are not familiar, please, what does the acronym, first of all, stand for? Because I think I may have messed it up a little bit, but also what does your agency actually do?
So actually, you did a good job with that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. My English teacher would be glad.
Indeed. No, so BAHFSA, the Bahamas Agricultural Health and Food Safety Authority, we are serving as the regulators for animal health, plant health, and food safety. Just to make it more concise, if you are going to the food store or restaurant or dealing with anything with food, we regulate to make sure that the food is safe. if you are a farmer or if there's a disease that might be of an animal nature, BAHFSA is there to protect the Bahamas from any of those animal diseases, as well as plant. So if you are a farmer as well and there's a plant disease, we're there to protect the country from those diseases, making sure that food security and public health simultaneously are maintained. But I would say that there's also a second branch aside from protection. Let's just say you are a Bahamian business and you want to get access to other markets. They have a lot of rules and regulations that you need to be able to meet if you want to access them. So BAHFSA comes alongside businesses and other stakeholders so they can actually see Bahamian products in other countries, in other markets. If you want to just get into the hotels, BAHFSA can really help you access those markets and overcome any of the sanitary and phytosanitary restraints. That just basically means hygiene.
And we're talking a little bit about, okay, how
Registration, yes.
registration. And because I know a lot of persons are now getting into the food industry and different things, farming, they have to come to you to get their registration in order, or their certification, I should say, in order for them to come to us to get their business license.
That's absolutely right. So BAHFSA is working to actually improve the ease of doing business by having a completely online and digital system for being able to get your certificate of registration, which is the prerequisite to getting a business license if you are a food business. So that's one of the things. You can go straight to BAHFSA on their website, BAHFSABahamas.com, and you'll be able to see where it tells you where you can get your e-inspection done. And that really gives you your registration. So once you fill out the form, put in your information, you'll get an email back. It'll give you your certificate of registration. And so you'll be able to provide that to Inland Revenue to get your business license.
So I'm a new person, my first time getting in business. Why don't you walk us through the process for the food registration process and how someone can register with BAHFSA?
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that the public had access to a digital solution. So you can apply and register straight from the comfort of your own home. So if you go to www.bahfsabahamas.com, you'll be able to see the actual e-inspection portal right on the front page. Once you click that, you'll be able to fill out your form. It'll send you an email where you give all of the information that you're going to need for your certificate of registration to be fulfilled. It'll also give you the option to put in the date for an inspection so that you can get your certificate of registration within about 48 to 72 hours. You should get your certificate of registration. You would then give that to Inland Revenue here at Few Months, great organization, and be able to get your business license ASAP.
This is getting me excited now. So, because I love food, so I will grow my own farm at the end of the day. But that'll be another thing. It'll be farmer taught. How has the food registration process been going? Are you seeing more businesses registering now than before?
We are, because first of all, I'd like to say that this is new. BAHFSA has really been trying to focus in 2025 on one, making sure that the Bahamas and Bahamian businesses can meet international standards. And that's going to be critical if you want to get into any of the hotels that are here, as well as international markets like the United States, Europe, or if you wanted to get into the Latin American market. These are difficult places to get into, but BAHFSA can assist, but you need to be able to meet those standards. And that's really what this registration and the e-inspection system allows us to do. So one of the things that we would always recommend is that people go onto the website. Right underneath the e-inspection portal are the 10 steps and a checklist on how do you successfully meet all of the conditions of your e-inspection. So take a look at that on the website, and that gives you the tools that you need to pass every inspection so you can really access those markets.
Now, I'm going to just throw this one out there because, a lot of persons have not just their mom and pop stores. Does this apply both to commercial as well as home-based businesses that they have to go for BAHFSA if they're dealing with any type of food or food item and handling?
That is correct. As a matter of fact, it goes a little bit more than that. Yes, the commercial establishments as well as home businesses. However, we also now have to make sure that liquor establishments recognize that they need to get their business license right after they get the certificate of registration from BAHFSA. So if you look into the Food Safety and Quality Act that BAHFSA is responsible for, the definition of food includes all foods that are reasonably or are being used for human consumption. And so that would include alcohol and liquids. So if you are creating juices, teas, if you're doing foods from your home or from a commercial establishment, that captures the whole concept of food. And that's really how we can really regulate and make sure that food safety is maintained in the country.
Is the registration process also extended like to the family islands? And if so, how have they been responding?
It does extend to the family islands, and we would say that we've already gotten registrations from about 9 islands thus far, and we've got quite a bit of feedback from people who may have not even known that they were not getting access to markets simply because they weren't meeting certain conditions. So we encourage the family island members and food safety professionals to collaborate with us as we are going to the different family islands. This year, we're going to be going to Abaco, we're going to be going to Eleuthera, we're going to Andros and others. We've already gone to Grand Bahama and Exuma, but we're going to get to the ones that we have missed. So we're coming for you, and we're going to get you the information that you need so that you can access the portal and then also access markets. But we are really excited to work with our stakeholders in the family islands. They've been very receptive.
You have any special events coming up on any of the family islands persons should know about?
As a matter of fact, yes, we actually do have a planned trip to Abaco. We're going to be in Abaco February 16th to the 18th. We'll be arriving on that Monday, but on the Tuesday at 6:30, we're going to be having a town hall meeting. This is where we're going to get stakeholders to give all of the questions that they want answered about how do you get your certificate of registration if you're a liquor business or if you are a home-based business. If you have any questions about accessing markets, if you're a food business, so we encourage the members of Abaco. We're looking to see you there on the 17th, 6:30. It's going to be at the Murphy Community Center, the Murphytown Community Center. So please come out and speak with your island administrator if you want to get more details about how BAHFSA is going to be coming to your town, because we're going to go both to the north and to the south and see if we can maybe even perhaps come by and even do an inspection if you're able to put your certificate of registration application in time.
And it sounds good. And definitely the Department of Inland Revenue intends to be there alongside BAHFSA to answer any of your questions about your certification, your business license, as well pertaining to this. So this is definitely a partnership I'm excited about, because a lot of times, persons hear about tax paying, they think it's just about that. We want businesses to be successful. We also want businesses to be able to operate at an international level, because then it opens up so many doors and opportunities for our Bahamian persons across the board. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our first break right here. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other things persons can expect from BAHFSA, as well as we'll talk about some of the updates and stuff that we have going on right here at the Department of Inland Revenue. We'll be right back for our first break.
Today, you will learn how to pay your VAT bill in the online tax administration system. Begin by visiting vat.revenue.gov.bs and log into your account. Please note that if you have multiple taxpayer accounts, you must select the appropriate one. Now, once on your taxpayer account, hover over the My Tax tab and click Make a Payment. Next, click on the green Pay Now button to begin your payment process. Here on the Select Items to Pay page, your VAT fees are listed as items, organized by tax type, period, due date, and payment amount. If applicable, select all items to avoid additional penalties, interest, and fees. Then click Continue. On the Review Payment page, you can change the payment amount for each item. Finally, continue on to the last page where you will make your payment, seen under Payment Summary. Payments can be made with Visa or MasterCard debit and credit cards. Credit card information is never stored by the Department of Inland Revenue. Please note that you may be charged a convenience fee for this payment. This fee is charged by the payment provider, not by the Department of Inland Revenue, and will not contribute towards your tax. For more information, visit our website at inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs or follow us on social media at DIR Bahamas.
and welcome back. DIR, Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd. And of course, we have a number of things that are going on during this month of February for you, and we just don't want you to miss out. Of course, just a quick reminder the persons, again, that definitely you're going to have to be making sure that you're getting ready to pay for your business license on the 31st of March, as well as your real property tax. VAT payers, again, we have the 14th for our large taxpayer unit, as well as persons who are paying regularly on the 21st of each month. And I advise persons, please, when it comes to your payments, don't just pay on the day of. If you're going to send payments through the bank, we encourage you to make sure you do one of three things. The first one is the government itself has over 60 something plus different bank accounts. Make sure, and we have 13, make sure you have the correct information for the correct payment that you're making. You can go onto our website again, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, where there's business license, VAT, whether you're paying real property tax, go to the particular tab that you're working with, and you will see the payment information for the correct account. Make sure you give all of the information for the payment that you're making. We also encourage persons to pay directly through the portal because it hits your account immediately. If you go through the bank, understand it may not hit for 2-3 days after the fact, especially if you're going through the bank payment. So we encourage you to make sure that you're paying the correct account and you give yourself sufficient time because you don't need to get fees if you don't have to. Now, the other thing we have definitely going on this month is also our essay competition, and we are encouraging persons. We had an excellent turnout last year, and we are encouraging persons this year. Parents, get your kids involved. We want them to be involved and to be a part of it and to win the prizes. I wish I could enter, but hey, at the end of the day, this is about you, making sure we educate you about what's going on, the changes in taxes, and to hear from you what it is that you have to say. So we encourage you to definitely sign up. You can be signing up on our website, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.vs, or as well as check out any of our social media platforms at DIR Bahamas to check out the essay competition, the rules, the guidelines, and the information. You can email your questions to dir_comms@bahamas.gov.bs and make sure that you get involved. We had over, I think, at least 60 different schools that were involved throughout the entire Bahamas last year, and we don't want you to miss out. It's for those persons in primary school inside grade 6 up to tertiary level up to age 21. So get involved. And definitely at the end of the month of March, we have 2 symposiums going on. Not one, 2 symposiums. One is going to be for our persons who are getting involved in business for the first time. And if you still need assistance with your business license renewal and payments, we'll be there to assist with a number of other government agencies. Along with that, we are having a high school business preparedness. We want our young persons, when they go into business, to have all the right information that they need to start out on the right foot and to do well. So we are excited about that. And that will be on the 30th and 31st of March for the business preparedness for the high schools 11 and 12. And we will have on the 25th and 26th our second annual financial symposium. Last year was exciting, and we're looking to have a number of our partners, the banks, the media houses, just to make sure you have all of the right information to do your business locally and internationally. And so we're excited about what we have going on. Now, I'm not going to tell you April yet. I'm going to hold off on that for you when we get to March. But definitely, we're looking at just possibly having another month of VAT education. Oop, I let the cat out of the bag. But that's okay. We want you to be a part of that and to be involved in that. So, Mr. Wara, right before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about how persons can get involved on the family islands. If at the end of the day they have questions, how can they reach out to you to inquire or make any inquiries that they actually have?
Certainly. So one of the things that we want to make sure is that we give access to everybody to give us a call, or you can go to our website, BAHFSABahamas.com. There's a contact us page. You'll be able to send in information directly if you have a query, whether it's about importing agricultural goods, whether it's about the e-inspection system so you can get your certificate of registration, whether it's about a question of hygiene, how do you access certain services from BAHFSA, because we have quite a few. But then also, because of our policy on food safety, we actually encourage, if you see something, say something. So if you see a business that looks like it's being a hygienic hazard or potential threat to public health, please, you can give us a call or you can email us at BAHFSABahamas.com.
Now, we've seen some food businesses face closure. How can business owners avoid this and stay in good standing?
So I mentioned this a little bit before, but on our website, we do have a section when you go to BAHFSABahamas.com, right underneath the e-inspection portal, where you would be applying for your actual certificate of registration. You're going to see a checklist. You can use this as a self-auditing system. So you can just click the button and download it, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to look out for so that you'll be prepared to pass that e-inspection that'll come at some point in time right after you get your certificate of registration.
So, beyond closures, what other notices does BAHFSA issue?
Oh, yes, of course. So when it comes to the notices, BAHFSA, while we might be having closures, we actually really rely on improvement notices for the most part. Because for the most part, nobody's really a threat to public health to the point that we have to shut you down for the most part. There are those rare circumstances. But the improvement notice will tell you exactly what it is that you need to improve on. For example, if you have an opening in the ceiling and you need to get that fixed because that can be a problem, or your staff need to be trained a little bit more in hygienic practices, making sure that you have clean and tidy or organized systems in your kitchen, in the area where you are serving, making sure that you're following best practices.
Okay. Food and Safety Unit will soon require commercial alcohol importers to present a certificate of origin. When will this requirement begin and why is it important?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of background on that. It would have been early last year, we would have received reports from certain brands that the serial numbers on certain alcoholic beverages were rubbed off on certain alcoholic beverages that are being sold into the country. This is a problem because it prevents traceability. And because of that, we've implemented the alcoholic beverages permit, which allows people who are trying to bring food in to be regulated so that when it gets to the store, customers know that alcohol is exactly what it says it is on the bottle, making sure that it's fitting all of the labeling requirements and making sure that it also is going to be authentic. That is a core issue that we wanted to address. And so in the second quarter of this year, we'll be implementing that, and we're going to be having hybrid webinars to inform the population on how to actually apply once that's rolled out.
Okay. And I have one last question before we close out.
Okay.
How can the public report a complaint, and how can business owners learn more about food safety and improve their operations?
Well, I would say still go to BAHFSABahamas.com. There is a contact us page, and we are very responsive to that. Or you can get us on the phone, and you can just give us a call, or you can email us at BAHFSA@BAHFSABahamas.com.
Awesome. Ms. Royal, thank you so much for being our guest on today's show. Any final remarks and comments for our listeners before we close out?
Well, I would say thanks for having me, and stay safe, Bahamas.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of DIR Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Piedmont Todd, the Training Communications Manager here at the department. And I just want to encourage all of our firsters, just stay compliant. At the end of the day, we want you to be successful. Your success is our success. We'll see you next time right here on DIR Let's Talk Sense.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good time enjoying the break, as well as an opportunity to see one or two of our podcast episodes for the Department of Inland Revenue. Just one of the other means that we're trying to utilize to make sure that we're educating the public on all of the different compliance areas, breaking things down simpler to make it easier for you, our customers, and our clients, because we want you to be successful as well as to make it as easy as possible to be compliant. So if you're following us on any of our episodes, you can catch the episodes on our YouTube channel at DIR Bahamas, as well as you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at DIR Bahamas, at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Eventually we are on TikTok as well, and Twitter. So we're going to get right back into our program. Our next presenter is going to be Mistress Annalisa Johnson. She's going to come and she's going to speak to us on VAT stamp. And that is going to be the next presentation, talking to persons about it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a rounding round of applause as she gets ready and comes to the stage. Hold on. You'll know how we do this. Let's give this applause like lunch in the next 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Annalisa Johnson, and I work in the VAT stamp department at the Department of Inland Revenue. Some people might wonder, what is VAT stamp? VAT stamp unit is responsible for the collection of VAT and stamp duty payable on real estate business transactions. Our stamp is affixed to the document by the Department of Inland Revenue and upon submission and payment of the tax. We also have a digital portal which can be found on public.gov.bs. Everything within our portal is digital, so you have to upload all of your documents. What is VAT stamp duty? VAT stamp refers to the process of applying VAT, value-added tax, on dutiable documents when they're being stamped for legal purposes and recording. And that's when you need to take your documents to the Registrar General for recording. What is VAT and stamp duty's role in business? In the Bahamas, value-added tax plays a pivotal role in various business transactions, particularly those involving real estate, conveyances, and mortgages. The VAT stamp duty is an official confirmation indicating that the required tax has been paid on a transaction. To give you an example of some of the documents that we process that you may be familiar with, one of them is a conveyance to Bahamian individuals. And if you notice on the screen, it gives you a tiered rate that we have for conveyances. So to give you an example, if you had a property that's valued at $100,000, we will apply a VAT rate of 2.5% on that value. And the amount of that will be $2,500 you'll have to pay at our window. How the law defines Bahamian. A citizen of Bahamas or a permanent resident with the right to work is how we consider you to be a Bahamian individual. Also, a company in which 100% of the shares are legally and beneficially owned by citizens of the Bahamas or permanent residents with the right to work in the Bahamas, which is not directly or indirectly controlled by any foreign person. Also, a partnership where all partners are citizens of the Bahamas, so you have to be a citizen of the Bahamas to achieve the Bahamian rate. Documents required for submitting on our portal. If you're doing a conveyance to a Bahamian individual, we'll need you to upload your Bahamian passport, a Bahamian certificate of naturalization, or if you're a permanent residency, we need a copy of your permanent residency card, and front and back so that we'll know that you have the right to work or not in the Bahamas. We also need you to upload your real property tax assessment number and your real property tax certificate showing that all taxes have been paid and it has a zero balance. When we have documents like that of a conveyance to a Bahamian company, these are the rates that you'll see on your screen, how we apply our VAT rate. So if you're conveying a property to a Bahamian company, Where the value is, it doesn't exceed 100,000, the rate that we apply is 2.5%. If that value is over 100,000, the rate applicable to for a conveyance to a Bahamian company is 10% across the board. We also have conveyances where people transfer properties to holding companies in the Bahamas. And holding companies refers to just companies that they don't have a business here, they don't have a business presence here, but they're just holding property. So in this case, these are the documents on your screen that we require for these type of documents. We'll need the company share register, Bahamian passport, certificate of naturalization or permanent residency certificate with the right to work again, declaration stating that the company is 100% owned by Bahamians, real property tax assessment number, and the zero balance tax certificate. When we have real estate transactions between a Bahamian and a foreign person, the VAT amount rate is 10% across the board. Just one flat rate. How the law defines a foreign person. Any individual who is not a citizen of the Bahamas, a permanent residency with the right to work in the Bahamas, a company incorporated in the Bahamas where any of its shares or other capital is legally or beneficially owned by a person who is not a Bahamian, an unincorporated association or body in which any of the partners or member is not a Bahamian, or which is directly or indirectly controlled by any person who is not a Bahamian. We also have real estate transactions where persons purchasing a property, one might be a Bahamian and one might be a non-Bahamian. In a case like that, we will split the value of the property 50-50 between the Bahamian and the foreign. Half of the property value on the Bahamian will be a tiered rate. The other half, being for the foreign individual, will be charged a 10% rate. We also have leases where persons lease properties, and we get those documents in. And for short-term leases under 5 years, we charge 2.5% of the annual rent reserve. For long-term leases over 5%, we charge a rate of 10%, so similar to businesses. On the screen, you will see multiple of documents that we see within the department. This is only a taste of some of our documents. We have approximately 60+ documents that we process within this department. But if you look at this listing, this listing shows the flat rate transactions. So if you were to get a mortgage, the rate would be 1%. For mortgages, further charges, upstamping, debentures, it's the same rate, 1% of the value. Bonds is the same thing. When it comes down to you've paid off your mortgage with your financial institution or your insurance company, the VAT applicable stamp duty rate, is 0.1%, and that's for all satisfactions. Mortgages, satisfaction of further charges, satisfaction of upstamping. We also have some stamp duty transactions, and when we have memorandum of associations where companies are forming and getting ready to start a company in the Bahamas, if the persons involved in the formation of a company are foreign, they are charged a flat fee of $600. If the company that's forming in the Bahamas are all Bahamian, it's a flat fee of $100. We also have memorandum of association for non-profit entities, and for those cases, they're exempt. That's it for VAT Stamp Department. Thank you for having me. Have a good morning.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please let's give her a hand. Any quick questions? Boy, I love this audience. We got a smart audience going on inside this space this morning. So let's give Ms. Johnson another hand, ladies and gentlemen. Did I see a hand? Okay. Excellent. Thank you so very much. Okay, so we're going to have our next presenter come up. So just a quick reminder for persons once again, if you missed any of these sessions from yesterday, you can watch all of the sessions that we had yesterday on our DIR Bahamas YouTube channel to catch up for business license, liquor registration, as well as VAT, and as well as information for our TCC. We encourage persons, again, with the wonderful sessions that they are, to please still take the opportunity to come in-house. We're right down here at the Andrew Rogers National Baseball Stadium to get the assistance that you need. We have a cadre, and I'll use that word again, cadre of other government agencies, as well as some of our other partners that are here to assist you and give you the information that you need to build your business in the right way. So up next, we have our next presentation, which is going to be by the SBDC, or the Small Business Development, coming Mr. Solomon Gibson to present on their behalf. Let's give him a hand as he comes up, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, and thank you for having us. Okay, my name is Solomon Gibson, as mentioned. I'm the Senior Advisor for Pre-Funding. We deal with persons who are seeking, at least entrepreneurs, who are seeking to expand or start up a business. We provide funding for you to assist you with your business. Okay, which one is right? Okay, we provide funding through grant funding, microloans, and loans as well as equity funding. Grants are funds that you do not have to repay. That can be up to $20,000. I'll go into it a little further as we go along. Mr. Redmond, I turned it off. Okay. Go forward. This one. Okay, yes. Okay, for the grant, first you must be enrolled as an active grant funding initiative. You must complete the application and provide all documents. And then we also have like from $5,000 to $20,000. We usually do. We just completed one that we're doing now. We call Empower. The last night was the last night for that. We targeted various inner city areas that we were giving up to. You can receive up to $5,000. So we have them staggered. We had one for men in business. We had one for women entrepreneurs. We had for fly fishing, disabled persons, so with grants, all of those are grants. So you have to enroll, they're standalone. You can check our website, Small Business Development Center Bahamas, on a monthly basis and see what grant funding that's available. You must have in order to qualify, you're going to need a business license, up-to-date business license. You're going to need documents for whatever product or services that you are seeking to be funded. We don't give you cash in hand. We purchase the items and then from the supplier, so you have to provide the supplier's banking information as well. Next, we have the microloan structure. This particular funding mechanism is for persons who are seeking between $10,000 up to $80,000 in funding. So some banks, it's up to $80,000. The interest rate is guaranteed at 6.5%, and the term is 1 to 5 years. The investment committee will review applications and determine the final approval loan amount, which may be adjusted up or down. And with this particular, you have to complete a business plan, have a business license, submit all your KYC documents, that's to know your client, your passport, driver's license, all of those side of stuff. We need all of that. So when you come to us, make sure you have all of that information ready. And we also have a plan to assist you. If you don't have a business plan, we have a gift certificate of $500 towards completing the plan. Now the cost of the business plan writer, it varies depending on the business plan writer, as well as it varies depending on how much information you provide for them. So have all of your information ready. So whenever you come to us, we also have an accounting program as well. For existing business, we will need historical financial. That means your business, your profit and loss statement, cash flow. But if you do not have it, we can assist you up to $500 with getting that historical financials ready. Okay, with the guarantee loan program, this particular program we have, it's usually from $50,000 up to $500,000. We guarantee any financial institution who partner with us that we will reimburse them up to 75% of the loan if the business fails. That meaning you will have to come up with at least 25% of some collateral that the bank will be able to accept to assist with this particular, and we can go up to $1 million in certain sectors. For those type businesses, they have to be in manufacturing, fisheries, agriculture, technology, or clean energy. And those, they can go up to $1 million. We provide up to 90% guarantee with those. Okay. Okay, this is for, we also like equity funding. With this particular program, if your business is incorporated and it's been offering shares on the local stock market, that's BAIC, we can go up to $250,000. We'll purchase shares, but the amount of shares that we purchase cannot exceed more than 49% of your business. This particular process is a little bit more costly to get your business to be offered on BAIC, the initial prospectus and everything. But if you're interested in that, you can let us know. Okay, these are the list of documents you're going to need. Now, each financial institution wants their own personal statement of affairs completed. So all of the lists, it'll look pretty long, but it's various personal statement of affairs that you will need. You'll need in order to do it, you need the business. Also, you have to complete what you call a business blueprint course. That's a course, it's a training course. If you're just starting up a business or you have an existing business, it's a good tool to help you to look at various things to make your business more profitable. You're looking at, you need the business license, bank reference letter, Bahamas Development Bank cover page. I have all of them on the desk ready for you. And we also have, the various person status affairs. You need a certificate of incorporation. That also, you'll need your, if it's an incorporated business, we'll need your memorandum article of association, all of the directors, the list of directors, everything so what we do when we go to the financial institutions who partner with us, we present them with everything. You also have to do what we call a CRIF report, that's your credit rating. I mean, we want to make sure we have all of that in order, so whenever we submit your application to the financial institutions, everything is there. So the turnaround time is be short, because you're going to have to provide all of this before you go anyway. So we want to make sure that you have everything if you are approved. But so what it works here, first we'll have to complete the service request application. Once that is completed, someone will call you and then go through your various questions to see if you're ready. And once we have all of that, after the initial interview, if we determine if it's a guarantee loan or micro loan, if that's where you want to go, depending on the amount of funds you're looking for, we will then have that business plan reviewed. And if the business plan scores at least 80 points out of 100, we will then have you go before what we call the investment committee. The investment committee is made up of 8 persons, and if you convince 5 of them that your business plan is viable, we'll send it to all of the financial institutions who partner with us. Right now we have Royal Bank, Fidelity Bank, Bank of the Bahamas, Development Bank. We have 2 credit unions, the National Credit Corporate Union, as well as Teachers Salaried Workers Union, also Simplified Lending. All of them, they partner with us, and if any one of those institutions are interested in your proposal, we will then advise you, and then you will go and sit with them. Okay, That's our contact. I have it on the table as well. You can go there and visit our website. So, any questions with regards to funding access?
I would ask a quick one. Documents, how long would a business have to be in operation before they can actually come to you to apply for a loan, regardless of the size?
Okay, once you have a business application, a business license, that's the first step. You need a business license. And then if you provide all of the documents that we have, we're gonna make sure you have the thrift report and everything in order, because we don't want to go through the whole process with the credit report. If you have outstanding loans or any delinquency in your program, in your financial history, you'll have to get that in line before we will proceed, because most of the financial institutions, they're not going to entertain you if you have problems with some delinquency in your financial history. So once you have all of those documents, the business license, the business plan, be ready to proceed.
Excellent. Any other questions for Mr. Gibson? Hold on. Right here, my lady.
I'm just asking about, what about NIB?
Yes, all of that, all your compliance and everything. We have the list of documents, all your compliance certificate, your business plan. So take, for instance, if you you're submitting for the extra collateral, you submitting, well, at least plan to submit some documents for property that you own. It has to be free and clear, no incumbency or anything on it. So you provide all of that. So when we go to send your information to the financial institutions, everything is in place.
Okay, excellent. Please, let's give Mr. Gibson a hand.
Thank you.
Okay, we are getting ready for our next presenter that's going to be coming up. So, just a quick few reminders for persons again. We are approaching the 31st of March, so we are reminding persons to please make sure that your payments both for your business license as well as your payments for your real property tax have already been completed. As some of the presenters actually mentioned, we just want to remind persons, please, 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 I don't know how many different pleases I get at children. I get like the children in kindergarten, please. Remember a few things. First of all, the government of the Bahamas has over 60-something plus bank accounts. And the Department of Inland Revenue alone, we have 13. So we encourage persons to please, when you go to make your payments, whether it's over the bank or by bank transfer, make sure that you have the correct information and the correct account that you are putting your information to. I know it was mentioned during the business license presentation to make sure that you have the correct business license account. If it's VAT, same thing. Real property, same thing. VAT stamp, first home. Make sure wherever it is that you're making your payment, you have the correct information. Because what will happen is, as you do your bank payment, and please don't also do the day of. The banking usually takes about 2 to 3 days, so we encourage persons to make sure when you go to make your payments, give yourself at least 2 to 3 days out so that the payments can actually hit the account on time. So, we also remind persons to please just check our website for any information. If you are coming down here today, I would just say to person, just take a quick sight at our website, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. Check out the type of business license that you're interested in, so you'll know what type of regulation or documents that you actually need to come down and start the process. We're going to be here until 4 p.m. today, so we're encouraging persons to please, even on your lunch break, just take a quick pass through, see if you can get some information, grab a goodie bag or two from the persons that are actually here, and get the information that you need at the end of the day to make sure that you're able to stay compliant in this 2026. We want persons to be successful in this year, so we want you to have the opportunity to get all of the information that you need at the end of the day so that your business can be successful. And if you just have a few questions that you need to have answered, please come on down and take advantage of the fact that we have all of the media houses here. We have Fidelity Bank, CIBC, we have Alive, they help you with all of your marketing, ZNS, ZNS, the Nassau Guardian Media Group. Just as you saw the presentation for SPDC, we have the Bahamas Development Bank that's in here, the Chamber of Commerce to assist you at the end of the day. We have the Consumer Protection Services, beaches and parks that you need. BAIC is here. Physical planning is here today. NIB is actually here today. Of course, we also have our wonderful friends at the end of the day from the Department of Inland Revenue and all of our different departments. So if you have questions, queries, or information that you need to have answered, we invite you to come on down today so that we can actually assist you and make sure you get the information that you need. So we're going to just move on to our next presentation. Our presentation is going to be coming from Beaches and Parks, and we're just going to welcome our wonderful presenter to the stage. So let's give Ms. Dia Farrington a hand as she comes up. Y'all just make me feel bad. I just gotta say clap like lunchtime right there, because lunchtime right there. Y'all know it's gonna be a good lunchtime. Give me that lunchtime energy clap today, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Okay, all right, right? Good morning. I am not Ms. Dia Farrington, but she will be assisting me with this presentation. My name is Lisa Humes. I am the marketing manager at Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority, better known to the public as Beaches and Park, but we do more than just beaches and parks. So. Well, of course, I'm honored to be here this morning to present on behalf of the authority. And our focus today here at the symposium will be our permits department and the role that they play in getting our vendors, persons who use our beaches, our parks, making sure that they are compliant with all the different documents that they need in order to secure a permit. So the role of the permits department is the financial impact of the authority. We're going to talk about how it supports sustainable public use for our parks and beaches. Established in 2014 by an act of parliament, our mandate is to preserve, manage, and enhance public spaces. And our mission is simple: to provide safe, welcoming, culturally rich environments that strengthen community well-being. The spaces that we oversee are recreational parks, roadsides, which includes cleaning and vendorship, green spaces, and public beaches. These are not just leisure areas, but they are economic assets that help us to drive tourism, support local businesses, entrepreneurs, and foster cultural celebration. At the heart of this work is the permits department, and the department's core function is to regulate and issue permits for events, vendors, recreational activities, commercial use of public spaces. They ensure safety, environmental, and cultural standards. We build accountability and trust, and from a financial perspective, the permits department generates a reliable revenue stream, which is then invested into maintaining, beautifying, and producing community programs. Beyond finances, the permits department balances public enjoyment with organized use, creates opportunities for small businesses, like I said, and protects public access for families and communities. And a lot of people don't know that we do that, but we're in the process now of making sure that there is public access for persons to enjoy our beaches. Many of us know if we drive out on the western section of the island, there's not too many places that Bahamians can go to access and use the beaches. So we've entered into an agreement with a local partner, and we're now working out to identify all public access to beaches and to ensure that they are accessible for use. In recent years, the permits department has made significant strides We have streamlined our application process, making the guidelines and requirements clear. We've standardized our fees, which has resulted in increased revenue and reduced inconsistencies. We've strengthened the monitoring process, which has reduced unauthorized use of our public spaces, and we also collaborate with law enforcement and many of the local agencies here to ensure compliance. The Permits Department is a cornerstone of sustainability. It provides a reliable revenue stream, as I said. It ensures transparent reporting and reinforces accountability in public resource management. In doing so, it aligns with national goals, which are to support tourism, community development, and cultural heritage. More than an administrative unit, the Permits Department is the guardian of public trust, driver of financial sustainability, and a huge partner in community growth. The vision of the authority is to continue to build our parks and beaches, green spaces, and vendor communities that are making sure that they are financially sound, culturally rich, and welcoming to all. On the screen is the information if you need to get in contact with us. This is the part where I'm going to call Ms. Farrington up. She is the permits guru. She knows everything there is to know about what you need, what the processes are, because we found a lot of times persons came to us with a permit and they would have to go back to certain agencies, come back to us. So we've designed a system where it's 1, 2, 3, 4-step process, so it's not so much up and down, just trying to get a permit to do your business. So I'm going to pass over now to Ms. Farrington.
Good afternoon. Okay. Does anybody have any questions in regards to permits for roadside vending, or if you're having a cookout on the beach, or if you're having an event, a bear fest? Any questions? No? Yes, ma'am. If you want to have an event on the beach, you'd have to come in office and fill out a form. A cookout, bear fest, wedding, regattas. Also, if you want to put up a billboard anywhere in Nassau, a lawn sign, banners, we do all of that. Criteria for a wedding: you just come in office and bring a valid ID, a police record, and let us know your dates, and we'll get that sorted out for you right away. Turnaround time is very quickly. Okay. Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a hand. I ain't feeding none of y'all today. That energy is so low. God's still working on me. I petty. I ain't gonna. Let's give them a hand again, ladies and gentlemen. All right, awesome. So our next presentation is going to be coming from Consumer Services, Protection Services. Let's give her a hand as she comes. This will be Ms. Ashley Williams from Consumer Protection Services and Commission. So we encourage persons, if you do have your questions, to please just post them online. We will answer them in short order. As we see, we have a few questions coming in on Facebook, and we'll share that information. So let's give Ms. Williams a hand as she comes up, please.
Good morning, everyone. Just some brief information about the Consumer Protection Commission, better known as the CPC. It's to help ensure businesses treat consumer fairly by handling complaints, investigating unfair practices, educating the public on the rights, and promoting a fair and transparent marketplace in the Bahamas. That's a little nutshell what the CPC is about. Let's move further. VAT receipt check. Spot check your receipt every time. Ensure VAT is separately and clearly. Ensure VAT is listed separately and clearly. Look for the business's name and VAT number. If it's missing or unclear, you have the right to question it. Refunds denied, say this. Your right have power. Clearly say, calmly say, I'm exercising my rights under the Consumer Protection Act. Stay polite, but firm. The law is always on your side. So you don't have to be afraid if you want or need your money back. Be aware of fake sales. Ladies, that's us. We love to shop. We love to see the up to 70% off. But sometimes, most times, it can be a big trick. So always ask which items are actually discounted. If the receipt doesn't match the sale report, if the receipt doesn't match the sales report, honest deals don't need fine print. So if you go into a store and they have up like, say, 70% sale, and when you go to the counter and you do your calculations, ladies, they'll be like, okay, this is $100, and they say it's 10%, 70% off. So you know, like about $30, $40 coming off your bill. And they telling you, oh no, you still have to pay this, but only, it's fake. So to prevent that and coming to the CPC and having us to call that store and getting you your money back, just say no. Skip that sale, just for you. Family Island protection. We protect consumers across every island. You don't need to visit Nassau to file a complaint. Send your details and proof to the CPC via email or WhatsApp. It's quick and secure. So, if you live on the Family Island and you have a problem with a shop or anything that you purchase, you don't have to fly into Nassau for us to deal with that matter. All you have to do is email us at complaintsbahamas.gov.bs, or you can call us direct at our office at 604-9020, or you can email us on our hotline. It's always available at 357-7898. How to file a complaint with the CPC. It's simple, and most importantly, it's very easy, and it's free. Write what happened, attach receipt or proof, send your receipt, whatever it is, send that information to complaints@bahamas.gov.bs, or WhatsApp us at 357-7898. We'll log your case, contact the business, and update you along the way. So we will be reaching back out to you once we talk to the customer, whoever you purchased the goods from that you were not satisfied with. We'll reach out to them, listen to your story, and listen to their story. And most of the time, the consumers are basically always right, because a lot of people, they are not honest because they think that the consumers do not know their rights. Contractors. I guess most of the ladies in here, or some of the males in here, can say that they experienced this before. I am one who experienced this before. The contractors didn't finish the job. Anybody that ever happened to? Okay. So, you're not stuck. You have a right. You have the right. If you paid a contractor who didn't finish the work or refused to refund you, keep all proof, like receipts and chats. Give one final written deadline, then contact us, the CPC. We will help you resolve this problem. So, once you keep your receipt or any chat, anything to say that you had an agreement with the contractor and he or she or the company didn't complete the work and they are refusing to complete the work, you can give us a call and we will deal with that for you. Hidden fees alert. Don't let sneaky charges surprise you. Always ask, is that the total? Review your receipt carefully and question unclear fees. Transparency is your right. Demand it. So if you go into a store or you purchase something and you do not have a proper understanding on what it is, the price, the agreement, the fine little prints, ask about it, question it, okay? Loss of receipt. If you lost your receipt, you can still make a case with the CPC. So, bank statements, product photos, WhatsApp messages, and store packaging can all prove your purchase. So, if you lost your receipt, the kids might throw it out the car, someone cleaned the car, and you don't have it, but you purchased something and it's giving you a problem or it's not what you expected, if you don't have the receipt, once you have a little proof to show that that had happened, so we will be able to get you back your money or get you a store credit. How to spot a fair business. There are 3 signs that you would know that a business is really trustworthy. Honest, price on display, always give receipt, willing to fix issues fast. If they avoid receipt or rush you to pay, walk away. Most stores, they'll be like, oh, we're having a sale today. Oh, this is 10% off, or this is $1 today. Most of them would say that because they know that, hey, this product probably was in the back, in storage probably for about a year, 2 years, or this product really don't sell fast because it have a factory fault issue. But instead of them taking it off the market to say, oh, we won't give it to the consumers, they will try probably discount it and try give it to us, and hopefully it works and we use it. And then if it don't work, when we bring it back to them, they'll be like, oh, we can't help you. So once you call us, we'll be able to fix that issue for you, okay? So, refunds made easy. Get your money back the right way. Stay calm, bring your receipt, explain what went wrong. If they refuse to help, record the name, date, and time. Then contact the Consumer Protection Commission, which is us, the CPC. We are here to make sure that you are treated fair, and any issues and problems that you have, we resolve it. Know your rights. Every Bahamian shopper is protected by law. You have the rights to safe product, fair prices, honest information, and refund or repair for faulty goods. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. These rights are guaranteed under the Consumer Protection Commission Act in 2023. All sale final. Your rights are protected by law. Even with no refund signs, you still have the rights under the Consumer Protection Act. If If your purchase does not work or promised, or it is faulty, the store must repair, replace, or refund it. Don't let the sign scare you. So like I was saying earlier, if you purchase something and they, no refund, no, you have the rights, and if they don't want to give you back your money or accommodate you, you can call the CPC, and we will, once you have a receipt or any proof that you purchased something from a store, we will be able to assist you. Okay? Check your VAT receipt. What to look for? The business name and VAT number must be printed clearly. The VAT charges should show separately. Make sure the percentage and price adds up correctly. Send us your complaint, we'll handle it fast. Send us the details. So if you have a complaint or you have a problem, which you can do, the number is listed and the email. So you can send us your full name, contact information, a short summary of what happened, photo, receipt, or message, the name and the location of the business. We are here to serve you. So once you send us that detail, that information, we will be able to assist you. Blind purchases. When you buy something without seeing it, testing it, or knowing full details separately, especially online or the phone, that's considered a blind purchase. How to protect yourself. Ask for a clear product detail and image. Verify the seller and platform. Always request a receipt. Use safe payment method. Okay, what are misleading ads? So a lot of people, they would go to like a store and they would see an ad going on, or online they'll see an ad going on, and when you go into the store to actually purchase this ad, you see that is being placed online on the roadside or coming up on your cell phone, and when you go there, it'd be like, oh, that's not true, or you'll get it, but when you go to cash out, like the ad doesn't add up with the process, the cash out process. It either can be the money or the product. So you can just call us, like I said, call us and just be aware. Some things you can look for, misleading ads, you can look for Photoshop image. Stuff, the items look very nice online. When you get in the shop, it's the opposite. False advertisement, yep. Fine prints, fake reviews, be aware of all, okay? So some people will get paid online to actually tell you, oh yeah, this item is nice, this product is good. And when you buy it, it's a big boo-boo. So be aware of it. Send us your complaint again, and we will handle it for you. So, like I said, once you have any issues, any problems as a consumer, you have the right to complain, you have the right to get back your monies, you have a right to be compensated. So, you all can give us a call today at 604-9020. Our WhatsApp hotline, it's always available at 357-7698, or you can email us at complaints@cpcbahamas.gov.bs. So, if you have any questions, the floor is open. No? Okay. So our booth is over to the back. If you have any questions, like I say, you can come over and we'll be glad to assist you. Thank you.
Let's give Ms. Williams a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. All right, so we have one more presentation for you, and then we're going to go and take our lunch break. We want to encourage our listening audience and those persons that are watching us online to please make your way down here while you have the opportunity and the chance, where all of these government agencies and other places are in one place.
to share the information, answer your questions, and even if it's not business related, VAT related, for us at the end of the day, you still have all of these wonderful places that are here to assist you. So our next presentation is going to be for the Bahamas Development Bank, who's going to come to you and talk to you about how you can get capital. And our presenter will be Miss Alicia. You do not, okay, yes, ma'am.
I know he's pretty surprised, but we like to come to the people and not stay away from the people. So this is a little intimate session, so thank you for being here. So my name is Alicia Butler. I have my amazing team over there from the Development Bank. So after this conversation, before you eat, after you eat, you can go right over there. So we have a little presentation here. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Very good. So we are here to talk about unlocking growth with BDB. Is anyone familiar with the Bahamas Development Bank? There you go. So we are the catalyst for economic expansion. What does that mean to you? That if you have a business idea and all of the commercial banks turn you down, we are here to assist. So the bank actually focuses on industries. And a little about us is that we are mandated to provide financing to create employment. So if you're looking at a business idea, always look to employ Bahamians. Utilize Bahamian materials and resources. We'd like to see more applications in that space. To reduce import and increase exports, our products should be on the international stage. You agree? She agrees. To introduce new technology and skills and promote prosperity for all Bahamians. Otherwise, to contribute to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. What does that mean? Whether we can produce our own product, whether we can feed ourselves, whether we can create more innovative and creative ideas in the tourism space, whether we are using technology, whether we are creating jobs for more Bahamians, buy Bahamians, hire Bahamians, and sell Bahamian products. Whatever that means to you, it means a whole lot to the Development Bank. So today we're going to talk about, and we're going to move very quickly through this. So I'm going to get right here. So we're going to talk about 3 products today. Yes, we have an array of products. Most of our products sit in the various industries like manufacturing. We'd like to see more products being manufactured by Bahamians. The tourism space, we'd like to see more creative ideas in the tourism industry. Agriculture, fishing, transportation. Of late, we've seen a lot of applications in the transportation space because we have more tourists coming to the country. So instead of having one small little vehicle to accommodate one, go big or go home. Yes? There you go. So we are here to assist you. You can borrow up to $2 million. All of our industries have a cap, but we have the boutique hotel space, guest living spaces. We have, if you're in the soul of the green economy, this lady have on a very beautiful green outfit today. Yes, ma'am, in the green space. So we are looking for businesses to service. Here we have the funding facility for contractors. A lot of people out there don't know what we do here at the Development Bank. So if you're a contractor with a contract from a very large organization or government entity, we are here to assist. And then we want to talk about this very important product that we have been marketing everywhere we go. So the bank has been jumping from island to island because we would like to be able to facilitate in the medical field. So if you own a doctor's office, a clinic, we can put you in a new space and call it your own. If you need more advanced equipment, we're here to facilitate you in that space. If you're looking to renovate your facility, we are here to assist. Well, in some instances, the maximum lending capacity is $250,000, but we have seen opportunities in the $1 million space. So we know some of these machines are very expensive. So we're not going to put you in a box for $250,000. But I know many of you have gone into those doctor's office and seen the archaic equipment that they have. Talk to your doctor, say, go to the development bank. I think you need to upgrade this. Yes? Good. And then we have the transportation space. So you have your taxi cab drivers, you have your livery plate drivers. You know, if you own an Airbnb, you can actually have, if you have 4, 5, 6 units, come get a car for each unit. We have not advanced this space like we should have. We're just offering just a place to sleep, just a place to bathe. But what about if we added a car per each unit? So invest in a fleet of vehicles. We're in the fleet space for rental vehicles. Upgrade your cars. If you have a taxi that you've had for the last 20 years, oh, we see them on the road. Upgrade your vehicle. Make it a little bit more comfortable for your client. And then we're in the Airbnb space. We are looking to drive the tourists to the family islands. What about that? Do you own a piece of property on the family islands? Is it just sitting there? Let's see how we can help. And then I want to talk about manufacturing. We need more creativity in this space. What do you have that you've been sleeping on for a very long time and you are not sure of how you're going to get the resources to fund your business? Yes, we have the craft space where we have straw bags, we have the jams, we have the jellies, but there's so much more we can do on a larger scale in the manufacturing space. So yes, we like to buy Donnie and Burke and Tory Burch and all of those beautiful items that belong to someone who has no ties with the Bahamas. Put your name on something. Put your name on something. Let's put it in the international market. When tourists come here, let's take your product somewhere else around the world. Give people a reason to come here. Yes, it's not just sand and sea any longer. It is everything about what we have to offer with our name on it. Made in the Bahamas. Yes? So how do you get funding? You need a business plan. You need a business license. Experience is always a must, but we also have one aspect of our organization, which is business advisory. We have a skillful team who can walk you through this entire process. When it comes to business plan writing, we can redirect you somewhere. When it comes to business licenses, it's easily gotten. Yes, quotes. Remember, this is very important. If you have a relationship with another bank, we're going to need your financials. But this is what I'm going to say. If you think that your project is viable, if you think it is profitable, and if you believe that it's sustainable, incorporate your business name. Let the business do the work. We don't see a lot of LLCs. We see trading as. Incorporate your business. We like to see that. So, business plan, 3 years projections, business license, quotes. If you're in the livery space, taxi cab, you should have your taxi cab number. That's usually printed on your business license. You should have your franchise or chartered license. Yes, if you own a piece of property, you want to make sure that you have an appraisal. for that property. You want to make sure that you have 3 contractors' quotes. In the manufacturing space, you can borrow up to $600,000 to manufacture a product. Get your machines, get your raw material, and put your product out there. Yes? Good. So we are here to help. We are here for Bahamians. So if you are interested in what else we can do, our team is over there, and I'm here as well. My boss is here. Or you can reach us at 702-5700. Any questions for me? Good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking out the time and making the effort. All right, have a wonderful day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a hand. Going to be here until 4 today, so please take advantage as you pass through while we're here at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.